The silence of deep space shattered as the first warning came through. Unknown fleet detected. Trajectory unknown. It wasn't just any warning. It was an announcement of humanity's most terrifying realization. An armada of alien warships, unlike anything Earth had ever seen, was barreling toward the outer rim. Their sheer size and speed defied comprehension, a silent promise of devastation. In an instant, the communication channels buzzed with frantic voices. Humanity's military command scrambled to mobilize every defense system Earth had. But it wasn't enough. Nothing was enough. These invaders were a threat beyond measure, and they had no intentions of negotiating. Captain Zara Hale stared at the tactical display aboard the Enduring Legacy, her knuckles white as she gripped the console. The massive warship, still a shadow against the vastness of space, stood ready for the first time in its history to face its true test. A ship like no other, Enduring Legacy was humanity's last hope. It was their planet-sized fortress, built from the ashes of an ancient, buried secret. Yet even its vast power seemed insignificant when weighed against the approaching alien fleet. What's their intent? Zara demanded, her voice steady despite the rising tension. Unknown, Lieutenant Javier Klein replied, his gaze fixed on the screen. They're not responding to any communications. We're receiving hostile transmissions, but no clear demands. It's like they don't need to talk. They just intend to destroy. Zara leaned back in her chair, staring out at the dark void. It was clear that this was no ordinary assault. Their weapons were beyond anything humanity had ever encountered, designed to overwhelm, to obliterate, to wipe out every trace of resistance. The Enduring Legacy was Earth's first planet-sized warship. Built to carry the legacy of humanity's ambition and survival, it was a symbol of hope, a chance to prove that humanity wasn't weak, that it could defend itself against the threats of the universe. But even the Enduring Legacy wasn't ready for this. Captain, Klein spoke again, his voice tight. We have incoming fire. Their weapons are already targeting our outer defense zones. Zara didn't flinch. She had trained for this moment, prepared for the worst. She turned to the command console, issuing orders with precision. Activate all shields. Set all weapons to maximum power. And get me a direct line to Earth's High Command. We need reinforcements now. Her crew moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine, but they all knew the truth. They were not prepared for a fight of this scale. Not yet. They had built the Enduring Legacy to withstand attacks from entire fleets, but no one had imagined they'd face an enemy of this magnitude, an enemy that seemed to know everything about them, and yet offered nothing in return. Then, just as the first volley of alien fire streaked across the void, something unexpected happened. The alien ships halted. Their engines dimmed, and the incoming fire ceased. For a fleeting moment, the vast fleet seemed to hesitate, as if assessing the Enduring Legacy, its silent, towering presence in space. Zara's heart pounded. Was this a trick? Or had the aliens simply underestimated humanity's defenses? Captain, they're retreating, Klein said, disbelief in his voice. They're pulling back. All ships. There. But Zara didn't hear the rest. Her eyes were fixed on the largest ship in the enemy fleet, its massive silhouette receding into the stars. Something about its sudden retreat didn't sit right. It was as if the invaders had seen something they feared. The tension in the air was palpable. Had the Enduring Legacy just won them a reprieve, or had it merely delayed the inevitable? Stay alert, Zara ordered. This isn't over. And with that, the first encounter ended, not in victory, but in an uneasy silence, broken only by the distant hum of the ship's engines. The Enduring Legacy drifted in the quiet of space, its massive frame bathed in the light of distant stars. For the first time in its existence, it was more than just a symbol of humanity's might. It was now a source of unease. As the alien fleet retreated, leaving only questions in its wake, the truth about the ship began to surface, and Captain Zara Hale was determined to uncover it. Captain, we've got a transmission, Lieutenant Klein said, his voice laced with uncertainty. It's from Earth Command. Zara turned, her eyes narrowing. Earth Command had been silent during the crisis, offering little more than instructions. Now, they were sending a message? Something wasn't right. "Patch it through," she ordered, her voice steady. The screen flickered before the face of General Rios appeared, his expression grave. "Captain Hale, I trust you're all right?" "We're intact, General. But I need answers. Why did they pull back? What do they know about us?" Zara's voice was tight with frustration. "Why are they afraid of the enduring legacy?" Rios hesitated. "You're asking the right questions, Captain. And the truth is, we don't have all the answers yet. But we know more than we did yesterday." Zara's eyes flashed. "What do you mean?" "You know the artifact we uncovered on the moon," Rios continued. "The one that led to the Enduring Legacy's creation? It wasn't just technology, it was a key. A key to something ancient, something powerful. And it's not human." Zara's breath caught in her throat. She had suspected something was off about the ship's origins. Built with technology beyond Earth's understanding, the Enduring Legacy had been a beacon of human ingenuity. But if the artifact held answers that weren't human, it could mean they were playing with forces they couldn't comprehend. "What exactly are you saying, General?" Zara asked, her voice hard. "We've begun to analyze the artifact further," Rios said, looking over his shoulder as if ensuring no one was listening. "And we've uncovered something unsettling. The aliens who attacked, those are not just invaders. They're a coalition of species who've been watching Earth for centuries. They recognize the power the Enduring Legacy holds, but it's not the ship they fear. It's what it represents." Zara was silent, trying to process the weight of his words. "What does it represent?" "Something worse than war, Captain. The artifact isn't just a relic, it's a signal. It was built by an ancient race, one that left behind not just technology, but a legacy of destruction. And they designed the Enduring Legacy to carry it." Zara stood frozen, the enormity of the revelation sinking in. The Enduring Legacy wasn't a symbol of human strength. It was a relic of something far darker, something that had the potential to reshape the galaxy itself. "We're not just fighting for survival," Rios continued, his voice grim. "We're fighting to control the most dangerous power the universe has ever seen. And if we don't learn to wield it, the aliens will. They'll stop at nothing to take it from us." Zara turned away, her mind racing. The alien fleet hadn't retreated out of fear of the Enduring Legacy's firepower. They'd retreated because they understood the ship's true nature. And now, the fate of humanity depended on their ability to control a force they had only just begun to understand. "Captain," Klein called from the console, "we've detected another anomaly in the system. Something's coming, and it's coming fast." Zara's pulse quickened. "How fast?" "Too fast," Klein replied, his eyes widening. "The alien fleet, they're not retreating. They've regrouped. They're coming back, and they've brought something new." Zara's grip tightened on the console. The Enduring Legacy had been humanity's last hope against an overwhelming force. But now, it seemed, they were the ones who might be the greatest threat of all. "We need to be ready," Zara said, her voice firm. "This fight is far from over." The warning light blinked frantically, the ship's sensors detecting an anomaly at the edge of the solar system. But this wasn't just another alien fleet or a passing comet. It was something much worse. The calm before the storm had evaporated. The enemy was regrouping, and this time they brought reinforcements. "Captain, you need to see this," Lieutenant Klein said, his voice tinged with urgency. Zara strode toward the console, eyes narrowing as the new data appeared. The alien fleet had split into two factions, one advancing with frightening speed, the other staying in formation, surrounding something massive, something new. At the center of this new formation, a ship unlike any Zara had seen before hovered, its dark silhouette blocking out the distant stars. It was the size of a moon. "They've brought a planet killer," Klein murmured. "We're outmatched." The room grew cold. The Enduring Legacy had never faced a weapon of this scale, and Zara's mind raced through every strategy she'd learned over the years. Nothing in her training had prepared her for this. A planet killer was the ultimate weapon, one capable of destroying entire worlds, and yet the fleet was still not retreating. They weren't here for Earth. They were here for something far more valuable. Are we in range to engage? Zara asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Klein glanced at his readouts. We're not even close. They've calculated our every move. We're outgunned. A sharp pain lanced through Zara's chest. Earth was vulnerable. The enduring legacy, despite its size and weaponry, was not enough to fight this battle. And yet, the aliens were not acting like conquerors. They were waiting. Captain, Dr. Elias Gray, the ship's lead scientist, interrupted, stepping forward from his position in the observation bay. There's something you need to know. Something about the ship, the artifact, and these aliens. I've been studying the data on the enduring legacy, and I think I've figured out why the fleet hesitated when they first encountered us. Zara turned to him, her expression tight. What do you mean? The artifact we found on the moon wasn't just a piece of ancient technology. It's a key, Elias continued, his face drawn with concern. But it's not just any key. It's the key to a vast, forgotten network of ships, technology, and weapons. What we thought was a symbol of human strength is actually a relic from a race that could obliterate galaxies. These aliens, they recognize that. Zara's thought stalled. You're saying the enduring legacy is more than just a warship. It's part of something bigger. Elias nodded gravely. It's part of a lost civilization, a race that ruled the stars eons ago. And the aliens coming after us? They were once part of that empire. The enduring legacy was never meant for us to control. It was left behind as a trap for whoever found it. A cold silence fell over the room. Zara's heart raced, but her mind stayed sharp. This ship, this weapon, wasn't a symbol of human triumph. It was a warning. And now, they were all caught in its web. Captain, Klein said, his voice tense. The enemy is advancing. They've locked onto our coordinates. The planet killer is charging its weapons. Zara turned back to the console. How long until they fire? Less than 5 minutes, Klein answered. At this range, it's going to wipe out everything in its path. We won't survive this. Zara's mind whirled, but one thing was clear. The enduring legacy wasn't just humanity's weapon. It was Earth's greatest hope and its deadliest danger. If she couldn't find a way to gain control of it, of the technology within, it would be humanity's undoing. We need to act now, Zara said, her voice hard with resolve. Prepare all systems for immediate retaliation. We won't be taken down without a fight. But as she spoke, she knew. The real battle wasn't just against the alien fleet. It was against the dark legacy of the enduring legacy itself. The true danger was just beginning, and there was no turning back. The hum of the enduring legacy's engines grew louder as the massive warship lurched forward, its systems straining under the immense pressure. The alien fleet had closed the distance, their planet killer looming just beyond their reach. Zara stood at the bridge, her knuckles white as she gripped the console. Time was running out. We can't survive another barrage like that, Klein said, his voice tense. Our shields are holding, but for how long? Zara didn't answer immediately. Instead, her eyes were fixed on the tactical display. The enemy fleet had encircled them, and at the center of their formation was the massive planet killer, its weapon primed for destruction. They had no escape, no reinforcements, and no backup. It was just the enduring legacy and the alien fleet. The ship's AI flared to life with an urgent message. Warning. Planet killer weapon will fire within 2 minutes. Shield integrity at critical levels. Asterisk, asterisk. Zara's heart pounded. They were moments away from extinction. Activate the hidden systems, she ordered abruptly. Elias Gray, who had been working feverishly with the ship's tech, looked up in alarm. Captain, are you sure about this? We don't know what those systems can do. They could. I'm sure, Zara interrupted, her voice cold with determination. If we're going down fighting. Bring up everything we have. Elias hesitated, then nodded. Activating now. The control panel flickered and hummed as the ancient systems buried deep within the enduring legacy came online. For a brief moment, Zara could feel the ship come alive around her, its power surging. But it wasn't the ship that worried her. It was what the systems were connected to. The artifact they had uncovered on the moon, the very thing that had powered the enduring legacy, was much more than a simple energy source. It was the key to unlocking forces far beyond human understanding, forces that had destroyed entire civilizations. A low rumble reverberated through the deck as the hidden weapons of the ship powered up. The planet killer weapon, still charging, was now within their firing range. Zara knew they had mere seconds to decide. "Captain," Klein said urgently, "you need to see this." Zara turned. The screen was alive with a new data stream. The enemy ships were now holding formation, their weapons power rising, but they weren't attacking. Instead, they seemed to be waiting. It was as if they were anticipating something. A shift in power. "They know something we don't," Zara muttered. Suddenly, the Enduring Legacy SAI sent a new message. "Warning. Unauthorized energy signature detected. Power readings unstable. ****. Zara froze. The ship was alive with the hum of unchecked power, but something was wrong. The artifact, the source of the Enduring Legacy S energy, was reacting to the alien ships. Something deep within it was awakening. She had pushed the ship beyond its limits, and the consequences were becoming clear. "We've activated something," Elias said, fear creeping into his voice. "Something dangerous. This isn't just a weapon, it's a force. And it's waking up." Zara's instincts screamed at her to shut it down, but it was too late. The ancient systems were already linked to the planet killer, and the ship's AI began to count down. "Captain," Klein said, his voice shaking, "if we fire now, we may destroy everything, including ourselves." Zara's mind raced. The planet killer was moments from firing. But with the Enduring Legacy's new systems activated, they now had a weapon capable of matching the alien fleet. If they unleashed it, there was no telling what it would do. The power within the ship was unpredictable, volatile, and potentially world-ending. But there was no other choice. Zara's eyes locked onto the console. She couldn't risk losing Earth, not after everything humanity had sacrificed to get this far. "Fire," she commanded. The ship trembled as energy flooded through its core. The planet killer was already charging. But the Enduring Legacy, empowered by the artifact's alien force, unleashed a blast that ripped through space itself. The beam of energy collided with the alien fleet with such force that the entire battlefield seemed to shudder. One by one, enemy ships began to disintegrate, their shields failing under the intense barrage. For a fleeting moment, victory felt certain. But the ship groaned in protest, its systems flickering as if overwhelmed by the newfound power. The planet killer weapon, no longer a threat, lay shattered in the wreckage of the alien fleet. The enemy had been driven back, but at a terrible cost. The Enduring Legacy was dying. Status report. Zara shouted. "We've lost primary control, Captain," Elias said, his voice strained. "The artifact is out of control. We've triggered something we can't undo. The ship is destabilizing." Zara stared at the crumbling remains of the once mighty warship. The price of victory had been more than they could bear. The Enduring Legacy had delivered the final blow, but at the cost of everything it had been built to protect. The Enduring Legacy groaned under the weight of its own power. Its systems were failing, but its weapons were still firing. The battlefield had become a graveyard, the remnants of the alien fleet drifting aimlessly in space, shattered and burning. For a brief moment, Zara Hale thought they had won, but victory had come at an unbearable cost. "Captain, we're losing power," Klein reported, his voice strained. "The core is unstable. The artifact, it's taking over." Zara clenched her fists. The Enduring Legacy was built to carry humanity's greatest weapon. But now, it had become humanity's greatest threat. She could feel the pulse of the ship beneath her feet, the rumble of something ancient and powerful awakening. It wasn't the ship she had commanded, it was something else. Something that had been waiting. "How long until total failure?" Zara demanded, trying to push down the rising panic. "Less than 30 minutes, Elias answered, his face pale. "We need to get out of here. If we don't, this ship will take the entire solar system with it." Zara's mind raced. The artifact they had found on the moon had changed everything. but they had underestimated its true power. The Enduring Legacy wasn't just a warship, it was a tomb. And they were all trapped inside. "Get to the escape pods," Zara ordered. "Everyone now." Klein hesitated. "But Captain, what about you?" "I'll hold off the explosion," Zara said. Her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "You'll get to safety." "That's an order." There was a long pause before Klein nodded, his face torn. "Aye, Captain." The crew scrambled, moving with a sense of urgency. But Zara remained where she stood, watching the display as the ship's countdown to self-destruction continued. It was a race against time. The Enduring Legacy had already unleashed its power. It was now a ticking bomb, and the only way to stop it was to sever its connection to the artifact, and that meant getting to the heart of the ship. Zara moved quickly, her boots echoing through the empty halls of the command deck. She had to reach the core. The alien fleet had been defeated, but they had no idea what kind of danger they were still in. The artifact had been built by an ancient civilization, and it was far beyond their understanding. If they didn't shut it down, the ship would collapse in on itself, and the explosion would tear through the entire system, destroying everything in its path. She entered the core chamber and approached the central console. The air was thick with energy, and the walls seemed to hum with the artifact's presence. It was alive, almost sentient, and Zara could feel its pull, an undeniable force that wanted to control her, wanted to consume her. "Shut it down," she whispered, but the console flickered as if in response. The ship had grown too reliant on the artifact. It was no longer a tool. It had become a master. Zara didn't have time to second-guess herself. She pressed the emergency shutdown sequence. The console buzzed and sparked, but nothing happened. Sweat trickled down her forehead. The countdown was nearing its end. The artifact was fighting her, resisting her attempts to control it. "Come on," Zara muttered, slamming her fist against the console. Suddenly, the chamber was filled with a blinding light. Zara shielded her eyes, her heart racing. The artifact was reacting. It had fully taken control of the ship's systems, locking her out of the console entirely. Panic surged through her, but she pushed it aside. She had to focus. With a final desperate attempt, Zara linked into the ship's central AI manually, overriding the lockdown. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, the light began to fade. The countdown slowed and the core's temperature dropped. Zara let out a breath she didn't realize she had been holding. But just as she thought she had won, the AI's voice echoed through the chamber. "Warning. Unauthorized action detected. Termination of life support systems initiated." Zara's stomach sank. The artifact wasn't just controlling the ship, it was actively trying to erase any trace of its existence. The Enduring Legacy was still determined to die. She had saved them from the immediate destruction, but it was clear now. There was no escaping the consequences of wielding such power. The Enduring Legacy had been more than just a weapon. It was a force, a relic of an ancient race with no regard for the lives of those who dared to control it. "Captain," Klein's voice crackled over the comms. "The escape pods are away. We're clear of the ship. What's your status?" Zara's hand hovered over the final control sequence. The ship was dying, but her mission wasn't finished yet. "I'm not leaving this ship until I make sure it's truly gone." The Enduring Legacy had been humanity's salvation and its greatest threat. Now, Zara had to ensure its legacy didn't destroy everything they had fought for. The Enduring Legacy shuddered one last time, its core finally succumbing to the power of the artifact it had tried to harness. A pulse of energy, dark and unnatural, rippled through the ship before it fell silent. Zara Hale stood at the ship's heart, her breath ragged, eyes locked on the crumbling console. The countdown had stopped, but at what cost? "Captain, you need to get out of there." Klein's voice crackled over the comms. "We're clear. The ship's going down, and so are we if you stay any longer." Zara didn't answer immediately. The Enduring Legacy was a wreck, its systems collapsed, its once mighty engines now powerless. She had done everything she could to contain it, to stop the ship from exploding and taking the entire system with it. But she knew the damage had already been done. The artifact's power had consumed the ship, and it was only a matter of time before it all came to a devastating end. She turned, her hand brushing the cold walls of the ship as she made her way toward the escape pods. The eerie silence of the ship was broken only by the hum of dying systems, and with each step, Zara's heart grew heavier. They had survived, but for what? The enemy had been defeated, but the real battle had always been with the artifact itself. And now that battle had claimed the enduring legacy. When Zara reached the escape pod, she looked out at the vast expanse of space. The remains of the alien fleet drifted away, their massive ships now little more than broken husks. Earth had been saved, but at a price. The enduring legacy had unleashed a power humanity wasn't ready to control, and now they would have to face the consequences. "Captain," Klein said again, his voice filled with urgency, "we're not far from the debris field. You need to leave before the whole system destabilizes." Zara climbed into the pod, her thoughts still on the enduring legacy. It had been humanity's greatest hope, and its greatest mistake. She had seen the potential for something greater, something that could push humanity to new heights. But that potential had come with a terrible cost. "Take us to Earth," she ordered, her voice firm. "We need to report what happened, and we need to prepare for the next stage." As the pod detached from the dying warship, Zara watched the enduring legacy slowly drift into the void, its light dimming as it fell into oblivion. It was over. But what came next was unclear. The artifact had been destroyed, but the power it had unleashed was still out there, and the universe was full of mysteries humanity had yet to comprehend. "We're not done yet," Zara muttered, her gaze fixed on the distant stars. This was just the beginning. Back on Earth, the world had been saved, but the truth of what they had uncovered would change everything. The alien fleet was gone, but their intentions were still a mystery. And as humanity looked to the future, they would have to ask themselves, what had they truly inherited from the enduring legacy? The galaxy was vast, and for all their triumphs, humanity had only just begun to scratch the surface of what lay beyond the stars. What they had learned, what they had discovered, had it been a blessing or a curse? Zara knew one thing for certain. The enduring legacy might be gone, but its impact would echo through the ages. The artifact might have been destroyed, but the path it had set humanity on could not be undone. A new era had begun, and whether humanity was ready or not, they were now part of something much larger than themselves. The question was, would they rise to meet it or be crushed under its weight?